and welcome back to College Band Radio Live, brought to you by College Marching, sponsored by Flip Folder app. I hope everybody is doing fantastic over these last 2 weeks. And, you know, if you've been missing us over these last 2 weeks, I hope you've been following us on social media because we've been posting a lot there. If you don't know where to find us, you can either look above my head or Rebecca, where can these lovely people find us?
All right, you can find us on Twitter at College Band RDO, Instagram at College Band Radio, and also on TikTok at College Band Radio.
Ooh. Wait, Craig, am I close to it? Like
no,
if I point
you're on the wrong corner of the screen.
Why can't you put me at the right corner?
Because I don't think about that beforehand. You let me know before we go live next time that you want to be in the corner.
Sorry, Dad.
I never think about that.
I think I'm the one hosting this.
I'm sorry, Father.
Well, I can still move people around on my screen. I just, you know, it's
Craig is ever present and all knowing.
You know, y'all in the
He
Zoom, y'all
is
in the call
inevitable.
don't know this, but any viewers will know sometimes, like, if you say something stupid, I'll just click and, like, drag you off screen.
Wait, is that an actual thing?
I mean, for like a couple seconds, then when I let go, it snaps you back.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that like you just like kept me off screen the entire time.
No. It's like a little 3-second gag.
Behavior.
It's a gag. We're all having fun here. We're all kids.
Yeah, you know, you're on the bottom left.
Okay.
But yeah.
That's okay.
So there's actually some news in the band world today.
News.
So let's see. I guess let's start with the less band related thing first.
Oh, you don't want to go to the band related thing first? Why don't we do band related and then less band related?
We'll get to because the band related thing we can probably talk a little bit more about.
So you want to do like appetizer and then main entree?
Exactly. You know, it's
I got you.
So, you know, the Power 5 conferences had a little meeting, and they determined that in terms of name, image, and likeness, they want to give players their the right to. I mean, you know, it's your name. You should be able to make money off of it. But with the current state of everything, with every state having its own individual laws on players can or can't be paid for certain things, or nothing at all, there's just not an even playing field. So at least among those top conferences, they're saying until Congress passes one thing that is just a sweeping thing, it goes for all states, they just can't do anything because it would create unfair advantages. So y'all, what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, unfair advantages.
Well, because if schools that have more money are in states that can pay,
people are going to want to go there.
And then all of a sudden, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I can really see both sides of this. I guess really up until I was kind of in college and working in college athletics, I was always like, oh, well, I feel like college athletes shouldn't be paid because like they're getting like an education out of it or whatever. But like now that I've really worked in athletics, I feel like I've definitely changed my perspective a lot, because like it's not just the 20 hours of practice. It's like training, going to physical therapy, like literally everything they do has to work into that. Plus like they're on the road like all the time. So I feel like now I have a much better understanding and a much greater respect for what college athletes do. And I definitely support them being paid. I think they absolutely should be, especially if their image is being used to like make money for the institution or for different entities or whatever. But I can also see where it needs to be a national standard set, because really you can have schools that will become powerhouses overnight, which may not traditionally be them, because all these players are like, oh, I want to be able to make money, so I'm going to go there. And like, I don't blame
like a bribe.
them.
They can bribe people to come to their schools by being like, you'll get money here, and then they'll go there.
Yeah, and I can see how that would make a big problem, but I'm more on the side of like, if you're worried about that happening, like institute laws in your state or like rule in favor of like making it equal for everybody to be able to pay their athletes. Because I think that's really having that equal law is really the only way to kind of end the disparity of worrying about kind of the balance of schools or whatever.
I completely agree with what Hannah said in that. I will say from the outset, I actually saw a really, really interesting TikTok today from this guy. I forget his name, but he plays football at Elon University, and he has a pretty big TikTok following. And basically what he said was, and this is true for all college athletes, that college athletes can get an 8 to 5 job if they want to, like a standard job, nothing making money off their name, image, and likeness, but just a normal job like anyone else on campus would. The problem lies in the fact that they don't have time to do it because they're at practice all the time. Then after practice, they have to go study somewhere, or they're out for a game, and they just can't fit that into their schedule because they don't physically have time. So that's basically the NCAA's way of saying, like, yeah, you can do it, but we know that you're not going to be able to do it because we know that you're not going to be able to have enough time to do it. So I'm glad that it's finally they're being able, hopefully they're going to make some sort of money off their name, image, and like this soon. I wish that this would have happened a while ago. It's probably not going to happen a while ago. Like just based on how things went, it wasn't going to happen in previous things because they kept using that education. That's their main thing, for going to college, getting that scholarship, getting the, like them paying for your education to go there. But in all reality, you're spending so much time in the weight room, at practice, at games, traveling and all that stuff that it's like, that education can go out the window a lot of times.
For band, we kind of felt that too.
Yeah, exactly.
We are at a lot of schools, especially these schools that are going to be the same ones that this applies to, the band kids practice almost as much as the athletes do, which means, and I definitely saw there were a lot of kids had trouble doing multiple things. Like you kind of had to do band and then that was it.
It's really hard to juggle
in the
a lot.
Spring, maybe, or whatever. So it's similar, and that was not even as much practice as the athletes. Like we're practicing 3 or 4 times a week. They're practicing every day.
Yeah.
And that's already hard to balance.
I was going to say quickly to end my point. I do agree that this should be instituted. I also agree with what Hannah said, that there should be a national standard so that, even in Power 5 schools, a school like Ohio State doesn't have, like, hey, go here over a school like Rutgers or a school like Northwestern, or like an Iowa State versus a Texas, something like that. There should definitely be some sort of an even playing field with that. But hopefully this will happen sooner rather than later, because Congress needs to make a decision on this instead of not.
And for anybody who wants to see what actually it says, right now on the screen there's the official, the official statement. This is the tweet that the Pac-12 put out, but it's not a Pac-12 statement. The statement that y'all see is the official statement. All the Big Ten put out the same exact words, and you guys on the call, unless you're looking at the YouTube,
Larry Scott put out those words.
Larry Scott did not.
Larry Scott came back. He came back. He
gone but never forgotten.
He went back in a time machine, undid the firing, and then put out the tweet. It's all Larry Scott. Confirmed.
Yes, exactly. All right, y'all had enough time to read that. If you didn't, go back, pause it. This is YouTube. Go read it at your own leisure.
Rebecca, how do you feel about it? Do you think that it's something that should be instituted now, or do you think that it's something that should be regulated nationwide?
I think it would be hard to do it now because of the state-by-state based thing. Basically what you guys were saying. Like, I think it would be very difficult without people taking advantage of it, like for good reason. Like if one school is like, you'll get so much money in addition to getting your education and free everything, versus the other school that's just like, you won't get that. A lot of people are going to take the better offer, even if it's not at a school they would have wanted to go to originally.
Yeah.
So it will, obviously that happens. People get scholarships and then they'll go to places that they necessarily weren't going to go to, but this would be like more that you would get additional money that you could use, not just money that you could use for school. So that has more of an appeal. So it'd be hard, I think, to do it now.
Yeah. And that's basically what the committee had determined, is that, like, while they want the players to be able to have money, to make money, and have all of the perks of owning your own name, image, and likeness, and being able to profit off of that. Just with the nature of the way the country is right now, with some states allowing for it and other states not, it's just not a feasible thing to be able to push through. But once Congress pushes something through, they will be soon to follow, is basically what they got to. And speaking of things following other things, I think it's time to follow up this conversation with our next topic. So,
the main entree?
The main entree, if you will.
That'll be like the news flash thing that I just made.
Sure. All right, so we got big news out of the state of Wisconsin. For the first time in
Wisconsin?
history.
Wisconsin,
I'm
the
pulling
cheese
up
curds?
the article over on my side just to make sure I actually get this, correct and everything. I don't want to say wrong stuff.
Guys, what's your favorite letter in the state of Wisconsin? The favorite your favorite letter in the word Wisconsin.
The W.
Yeah, I was gonna say W.
W.
Every day.
Yeah, I guess.
Dubs. Get them dubs.
Dubs. Also, Dubs, the dog at UW. I love him with my whole heart.
But
Mine's the second I.
We're gonna
shout out to the second
We're
I.
gonna go to the other, not UW, but UW. Specifically
Yeah.
UWO.
Savannah would-
Uo. We're gonna go to Uo.
Ooh.
University of Wisconsin,
Wisco.
Oshkosh.
Wisco.
Where?
Although I think
fun
Wisco
fact-
is the other one.
Yeah, I think that's the main game.
All of them could be Wisco if
Yeah.
you dream.
But did you know that Oshkosh does not have a marching band yet? But
Ooh.
yesterday, June 8th, 2021, they
The year of our
hired
Lord.
the man, the myth, the legend, Dr. Joe Shiver. I don't really know.
I think it's probably Shiver because
Shivert, Schevert. Pronounce it
Shiver.
how you will. To be their director of athletic bands, and their goal is to spend this upcoming school year building up a program, gaining the members, and by the 2022 football season, their goal is to have a 100-member marching band.
Woo!
That's so exciting.
It is exciting, and it's pretty
it
cool. You don't
is.
usually, I mean, there are some, but not a ton of the like smaller schools in a bigger system have their own bands. There are some, like I know that UMass Lowell has one. One of the UNC, like Charlotte, I think maybe has one. We follow them
Yeah.
on Instagram. UTEP, but other than that, there aren't a ton of schools that are like the smaller ones. Usually, it's just like the big.
But,
Whatever
like,
their
so hard.
central
Just-
school is. Yeah, which is cool. It's
I'm
exciting.
so happy for them.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this future marching band to exist. Like they get to be the inaugural members.
Wait,
Yeah.
are
Plus, it's
they
fun,
are
like, to
they
be the-
D3?
Yeah,
Would
they
they
are.
be
Yeah,
D?
They're
Okay.
they're a D3 school. They have their undergraduate population is just over 15,000.
So that's a pretty big
That's a
band for that
lot.
size school.
Hold on a second. Hold
They
on
want
a
100
second.
kids.
They have 50. You're telling me this D3 school has 15,000 students at it?
Well, it has 16,000
Man.
students, 15,000 undergrad.
My God, the UW educate. Oh my God, the
Not
UW
UW.
University.
Bigger than you and
University
I.
of Wisconsin,
They're
not
literally
UW.
bigger.
No, I meant
Oh,
the
then-
university system in Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe it's not
Some
that much of
big
a
schools.
stretch then for them to get 100 people.
No, I think it's definitely reasonable.
We have, I think at you and I, for reference, we have like, we've been struggling recently. We're at like 9,000 students, 8,000 or 9,000.
Only
That's
9?
small,
I was
really.
gonna say I thought that y'all were like 20.
UConn is
No.
like almost 30,000.
We used to be.
Maryland's like 38.
We used to be
Yeah.
like
I think. Here, let me
15.
go check
We used
that.
to be 15,000 ish. That was like our max.
Did people just
But
like stop
as a
wanting to go?
result of COVID and some other things in the state of Iowa, people have not been showing up to the University of Northern Iowa, but that's okay because I'm still here. We're still here.
Yeah.
I
But
can
for reference,
confirm.
we have like about 9,000 students and
9,000 undergrads, 10.5K students in total
Yeah.
is what I see.
That's yeah,
That's
that's
not
that's
accurate.
small.
but yeah.
You guys got over 10K. Let's go.
We're not over 10,000 actually. Like those are not updated
Shh,
numbers.
10K gang. 10K gangs.
Anyways,
I,
yeah,
I,
we're
used, I
pretty
always
small.
know like generally how big UConn is because they always said that the band is 1% of people who go to UConn and there are 300 people in the marching band. So you could always like kind of figure it out that way.
Because we have at U and I, we have about we were at 291 in the band last year.
That's so.
That's huge for the size of your school.
Maryland
Like,
isn't even that
that's-
big.
that's
That's
such
why
a
I'm
This is
like,
not even
percentage.
200.
That's
Is
such a
And-
big percentage of the people
Yeah.
who go
I-
to your school that are
no
in
man,
band.
you and I be getting litty.
My goal this year is for us to get over. I'd like us to get at or over 300. Because
Wow.
we had our like smallest year, I think was maybe I think it was my freshman year, because it's like every time there's like a director switch, like students will quit, especially because like the last director, Dr. Gallian, is amazing and we love him. He's now the director of all bands at UNI. But like once people like got to know Dr. Mercer, it's like, oh, he's really great too. So then everybody joined again and it's like kept growing. So I'm excited to see. And it was just crazy to us because our biggest year in the past 4 years was during the pandemic. So we're hoping this year a lot of people will come back to see what
Wow.
we're all about when we don't have to wear like pantyhose on our instruments. And
Hey, wait,
then
Craig, how big is
have
Rutgers?
normal time.
Rutgers, I think we are roughly.
Maryland's got 30K undergrads and 41.2.
I don't know the numbers off the
41,200.
top of my head, but I think we're roughly
That's not even
30,000
that big.
undergrad.
Okay.
I think UConn's something like 28 or 29 undergrad.
That's not
and
even
then
that big.
30
Y'all
with
want to know how big
everybody.
like
Yeah.
UCF is? UCF has got like 60K undergrads.
Yeah.
Well, how big is the Rutgers band? I
Sorry.
feel like it's
Not
on the
huge.
smaller
Recently,
size.
numbers have not been great. When I joined, I think we were like 220-ish. I think in recent years it's been like 170-ish, 180-ish.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, our numbers aren't great right now. We're trying to step up our recruiting.
Yeah, because I know, like, obviously, I don't know. I'm from New Jersey, so
Yeah.
a lot of the people who I went to high school with went to Rutgers, and nobody did band.
Yeah, especially when we graduated, there was a different director that a lot of high school directors didn't like very much, and so a lot of band directors, high school band directors, were like actively like discouraging. If you want to do college band, don't go to Rutgers,
Rutgers,
or if you're
yeah.
going to Rutgers, it might not be worth it to do the band.
Wow.
So
There was a little bit of a, like, don't go to Rutgers.
I mean, in New Jersey in
attitude,
general
but-
has a very don't go to Rutgers sentiment.
Yeah.
But-
I
Yeah.
don't- It's an interesting thing. Like,
South Jersey specifically. South
No,
Jersey is
all of
North
like,
Jersey does
all of it.
too.
And the
Well, I
United
was
States.
gonna
North
say,
Jersey
I
does
mean,
too.
at least from what and I'm not from North Jersey, but I feel like people in North Jersey are a little bit more okay with it.
No.
But like in South Jersey, all of my friends were like,
Everybody,
nope.
everybody in New Jersey scoffs at it until they realize how good of a school it actually is. Like a really good school, and people are like, oh,
Yeah.
it's just
It
a
doesn't-
local state school. It's like
Right. It's an interesting thing. It really doesn't have the best in-state reputation, which is something that I find very strange. Because like when I have like at UConn, a lot of the kids are obviously from Connecticut, but they're such big, like they've been such big UConn fans their whole lives. Like everyone's really into it, and there's a general like people really want to go there, even if they're from Connecticut, which is not really the same. And
Yeah.
I don't know
I
if it's
would
just because
say-
the New Jersey people are more like, I don't
I
know,
mean,
we're less
New
like
Jersey's
friendly.
got its own vibe going on. I was gonna say with Maryland specifically, at least from the people that I knew, because I knew obviously a lot of Maryland kids that went there. It didn't seem like there was like an overwhelmingly like, oh my God, I got to go to Maryland. It was more of like, yeah, I kind of knew I was gonna go here, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where it was like, I'm
Yeah,
not
I
like
don't know.
crazy excited to go here, but I'm not like I hate it. I'm just kind of like, yeah, it is what it is.
Love you
Yeah,
guys.
some of it is also because I think Connecticut doesn't have any sports teams really, or not that many. So UConn
Wow, way
kind
to
of like,
discount the two
I'm
women's
sorry,
professional
Connecticut
sports teams.
Sun. There's only
Disgusting.
one.
No,
Oh,
no,
and there's
Having a
the
professional
and the
sports
hockey
team is
team. I'm
great.
sorry,
women's
but a lot of
professional
people's
hockey.
sports teams are the UConn team, so they're like already kind of invested.
yeah. I think
How's the vibe like at
yeah.
UNI?
I think that's part of the issue with why Rutgers is so scoffed at. Because like a lot of people, if they're sports fans in New Jersey, we have so many professional sports teams within an hour's drive of
Oh,
basically
what a
anywhere in the
rough
state.
thing. That's so many.
No. So
we just have
but-
so many.
No,
So it's like literally like split down the
it's-
middle
it's-
because you have
Funny.
New York and then you have
Hold on,
Philadelphia.
Hannah.
No.
Hannah,
This is
before
like
you
what I
start,
complained about 2
before
weeks
you
ago.
start to like be like, oh, how can you complain about? Okay, no, we have so many, but people only have so much attention, and they can
Yeah.
only care about
People
so
don't
many
care about
losing
Rutgers
programs.
sports.
So if
Yeah,
you care
it's
about
true.
the Mets and you care about the Jets, you don't have enough left in you to also
Oh
care
my
about
God,
Rutgers.
being a Jets fan is like a death sentence, and that's not even a joke.
Being a
Giants
fan
and
of
Yankees, that's the
any
way to
sports
go.
fan
Being
in
being
New
a
Jersey,
Yankees fan right
in the
now
New
is a
Jersey
death
area,
sentence. My God, they're
really
all at each other's
hurts.
throats.
Yeah, but
I'm
historically they've
yeah,
done
you
better.
and I.
Oh, wait, historically.
I'd say you and I, like, of the 3 state schools, everyone calls us little brother, which is like, it's not incorrect. I won't lie about that.
How about you do lie about that? Because like,
No.
don't take no crap from the University of Iowa. Ugh.
No, because we play them and stuff every year. But really everybody's like a UNI fan, plus you're an Iowa State fan or you're an Iowa fan. Like hardly anybody in the state is exclusively a UNI fan. Like I openly admit, like I'm a huge UNI fan and UNI will always come first for me, but like I'm also a really big Iowa State fan.
Good.
UNI has to play Iowa State football actually this year, and I'm
Oh.
afraid. Because we took last time we played them, we took them to 3 overtimes, which is a whole big deal, and we had like the memes going around from like the Civil War, where it was like I can do this all day.
As long as you're not
we're
a
coming
University of Iowa
and
eyebrows.
Matt,
But even
Matt
if you
Campbell's
are a
used
University
their
of
6th
eyebrow.
bowl team, I'm like, interesting. But you know what? Go Cats anyway. But I definitely say like people really get into UNI, like not as much football, but UNI basketball is really, really big. Just because we're chaotic always. It's so much fun. So I like people really get into that. I think benefit though of obviously like our bands being able to be big and sustain a lot of people is that like Dr. Mertz and Dr. Gallian are a huge part of it, and the School of Music, because like they all have a really good relationship with tons of schools all over Iowa.
The band culture must be good because people keep coming back.
It really is.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have that many people, then the band culture must be very
And
good.
recruiting,
Yeah.
like that's what I was gonna say to Craig. Like UConn recruits really, really heavily
Yeah.
for the band. Like there's a recruiting team and they send them to band competitions to set up a table and give out stickers and put up a little screen with the videos to talk to people. And anytime we go to a lot of exhibitions.
Yeah.
Any weekend that the football team is away, the band plays at an exhibition for high schoolers to recruit and set up a table, and we go to Allentown recruit. And certain things like MetLife, we would play at US Band Nationals at MetLife in New Jersey, and
Yeah.
Rutgers never had a table.
That's
Nope.
how UNI is we do like we make it a priority
It's
every
such
year
a
to
missed
do
opportunity
It
for
is.
Rutgers.
It
It's literally
100%
in New
is.
Jersey.
It's like an
We
hour
do-
from campus.
Wait, are we putting Rutgers on blast right now?
Yes.
But there,
Yes.
you could
The TME
recruit
does-
for like the kids who are at nationals for marching band. Like they obviously like marching band,
Yeah.
and they are mostly from the Northeast at
Mhm.
US Bands Nationals because that's who competes in the US Bands circuit.
For the most part, the only recruiting we would do at the high school level, occasionally, like every couple years, we'd go to like a high school exhibition or a high school competition, do an exhibition. But for the most part,
Yeah, we would do that.
the
a lot.
only time we would ever have like a recruiting table at a high school competition is at the US Band States competition, because that's hosted at Rutgers, and it's like there's so many other things around us that we could go and do, but you know.
If you guys went to Allentown, like Allentown is the Collegiate Marching Band Festival, and like Delaware was there, and UMass was there, and UConn was there. There's no reason why.
Well, so the
Rutgers
Collegiate
wouldn't.
Marching Band Festival is a little different. That's more so for bands that kind of stick with like 1 or 2 shows throughout the season and do that versus.
We went sometimes, not every year.
I thought you guys don't you guys do like just like the one show kind of system where you just do the one show throughout the whole season?
Yeah,
Do you-
we have an exhibition, like the UConn band has like a 15-minute exhibition show, and then at each of the games we would do like either a part
Man,
of that
y'all
show
wildin'.
and then like a B show.
Okay.
So like we would do like part 2 of the show and then like some new thing that we would do the
What
shapes of,
we
or
do-
sometimes we would just do a couple parts of the show, or we would just do a B show. But we do have a separate full-length 15-minute exhibition show that's like the
Okay.
show of the year.
yeah.
So what we kind of do too is that we also make like high school recruiting a priority. So like we always do at least 1 or 2, like we call them runouts. So it's like we'll go perform at a high school competition. But what we do
And a runaway.
Then the UConn made is that we'll do our full pregame show and then we'll scatter and then do whatever our halftime show is that week. So we've taken like our space show and different stuff on the road, which has been really fun. And we also do like small band runouts where we take a smaller group, we take our instruments and we go play with a high school band for a football game on a Friday night. Those are always so much fun. I don't know if we'll be able to do them this year because of COVID. We couldn't last year, obviously. Fingers crossed we'll be back this year. And that's been a really great way, like going around the state and like getting to hang out essentially one-on-one with these high schoolers. And then it's like we have people who come to the PME who come up to me and to like other people, they're like, hey, like you came to my high school 2 years ago. I remember
That's
you
so
coming out.
cool.
So
Yeah.
It really is. And then they'll come to, we also host band day every year. So
Okay. Yeah, UConn does band day too. Like
we designate a football game
Yeah.
for them to come and perform.
all the
on
high
the
schoolers.
field
That's
with
one
us.
thing that we do.
We
We
had,
actually do that
like-
one.
We had literally like I think 2 years, because we once again obviously didn't do it last year. We had almost 1,000 people total on the field.
Yeah.
Like the 300 so 280 some people in the band that year, and then like all of the high schoolers. So and
Definitely.
another fortunate point for us is because you and I's like our two big things here are teaching and business. So we have tons of music ed majors who go out, get jobs across Iowa, and then they had a great experience in the PMB, so they tell their students about it.
Yeah, that's UConn band
Like,
has that too.
It's,
That's a big
it's
push.
really great, and like our alumni do such a good job like encouraging their students to come. So
Yeah, your culture must be great. Like
yeah, it really is. Like I'm biased, but like I absolutely love the PMB culture. I love it enough that I'm going back for 5th year.
mhm.
And even like during the pandemic, I just appreciate how hard like Dr. Mertz and a lot of like leadership team members worked to make sure like we could have normal band or as normal as we could be and like still make it fun, even though it would have been really easy for Dr. Mertz to be like, football's canceled, we're not doing band. But like he made that a priority. And I think once again, that really reflects like he's an awesome director. I can't say enough nice things about him. Nobody tell him I said that though. Because it will go to his head and I can't let that happen.
Well, I'll have to go find this clip
you know
and
what
send
they
it to
say
him.
about people that used to work with oranges? Nothing. I just wanted to point out that he worked at Syracuse.
Okay.
Shout out Orange.
Yes, he did used to work at Syracuse. He was the director there for quite a few years.
Shout out the University
cool,
of the
too.
Orange people.
Yes.
They have a big band in
They
Syracuse.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
Shout out
My
indoor
grandma really
stadiums.
wanted me to go to
Let's
Syracuse.
go.
They're first
There's
of all,
they
you
have a
would've
New
gone to
Jersey pull
Syracuse,
for
Craig?
sure.
They definitely do. But
Craig,
it's
if
more
you
because
would've
most of
gone
my
there,
family
Mertz
went
would
there
have been your
from,
director if you would have gone to Syracuse.
for like
Craig.
a year, and then I would have lost him.
Well, no, because this is
And then
gonna
it would be like, oh, I'm going to this
it's gonna be
random
this year,
school.
you and I this year.
I mean, not
Oh.
random
So-
school.
Yeah,
like,
so
I'm
I
going to
would've
school.
had him-
around
You
here.
would have had him like half the time.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Because what year did he show? If he showed up in like
2017.
And then he would have,
17,
and then
yeah,
he would
you
have
would've had
disowned
15,
you.
16. I would have had him 15,
15,
16.
years,
Craig,
yeah.
then he would have disowned you. And
Yeah.
then left.
Whatever. You know.
Yeah, also, okay, one more flex for you and I is not even for you and I. The Syracuse uniforms that are beautiful and crisp that I always name as one of my favorites.
Crisp like an orange.
I found out that Mertz designed
Fresh
them, and I was like,
citrus.
"Wow,
Nice.
design us new uniforms."
Well, if
Like,
you
come on.
guys do get new uniforms at some point while you're able to steal a hat, please do and send me one.
Here, wait. Here,
Oh
wait.
yeah,
How?
if you get new uniforms, you got to send us some of your old gear. Like if you guys get new like shirts or
Yes.
hats or anything like
Anna,
that.
I have a question. I have a very important question.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so Syracuse obviously got the orange thing going on with like actual oranges. What fruit would you associate the PMB with?
I gotta think about this for a second. Part of me wants to say like apples, just because like that's what TBS and Kappa pass out at every game. We get free fruit in the stand, which is always great.
Well, what's like
No.
what fruit is the essence of the PMB? These are the journalistic questions that need to be asked.
Grapes, because they're purple, go Cats. I don't know. I don't. Eat, like,
That's what I was thinking. I would
You
have said that
go Cats,
for you
baby.
and I.
Goodness. I can't-
Corn, because it's
Is corn a
why
fruit?
not? No, it's not. No, that was the
Oh,
joke
God.
because they
Okay.
produce a lot of corn in Iowa.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for season though.
When Craig takes a joke too serious.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know if it was like I'm not a botanist. I don't know if it's like technically a fruit. I
No,
don't know.
trust me. No.
Like-
I took like one plant science related class or something like that where I learned about fruits and crap like that in college. I don't remember one thing.
The one thing
100
I
level
remember
classes,
from
baby.
my well, actually, there's a few things I remember from my intro to meteorology class, like the lowest level science class I could find.
Bill and I, the science guy, knows all. That's the
It
only
was.
thing you learn in meteorology class.
We learned that, you know, if you take a snowball and you put it on a desk in a warm lecture hall, it'll do this thing called melting.
Ooh.
We had a 30-minute lecture about that one day. In
A
intro to meteorology.
30-minute lecture? Wait. Hold up. A 30-minute lecture on how snow
Well,
melts?
no, I mean about like phases of matter, which, you know,
Oh.
at a college level, you shouldn't need a
I
30-minute
learned that in
lecture on.
SpongeBob when they said a lol squid.
I learned that in second grade. I don't remember specifically.
No,
what.
no, it was a
I
joke.
learned that, but I
Okay,
always know,
okay.
I think.
Yeah, like
Photosynthesis.
because he started at the lecture. There was a blizzard a couple days earlier, and he brought in a snowball and put it on the desk, and then started his lecture. Like 20 minutes in, he was like, "Now, class, you see here on the table, there's a snowball, and there's a puddle of water around it. Now." Despite what you might believe, I didn't actually pour the water on the table and put down the snowball onto it. The snowball did what's called melting.
Checkmate.
Now, obviously, he was like playing into how simple of a concept that was, but like, you know.
Checkmate, college
That
student.
sounds easier than you and I.
You've been
No,
doing
okay. That's like one of the easy like. I
My
need a
intro to
science
meteorology-
class.
That
Science
is an
classes.
incredible
Biology
teacher.
class.
Rocks for
Because-
jocks.
My
Yeah.
fun fact for the day is that I was originally gonna be a meteorology major and go to Iowa State. 'cause
Oh,
they
you
have,
would have
like,
learned
the
about
best
snowballs.
program. Yeah. What?
You would have
Yeah,
learned about
that's true.
snowballs.
They have like one of the best programs in the country for it. But I didn't, because once I looked at how much like physics and stuff I'd have to do for that, I was like, I'm out. I can't. So I wound up at UNI. Go Cats. But
Imagine like Hannah the
it's time to-
meteorologist.
yeah,
believe
I
it.
actually
You'd have to get up so early. Like their schedules are insane. They get
Oh,
up so
yeah,
early in the morning.
What's
actually-
like the
I
big
chose my
TV station in
major
Iowa that you
because
would
I-
work for?
I mean, like any of like we have like a lot of like regional stations, or I would have like gone to Chicago or Minneapolis or Kansas City.
Hannah would have become the new Al
Kansas
Roker.
City. Gosh, who would want to live there? Ugh.
Because part of the reason I chose
Yes.
my major is because I was like, well, I can't like be a meteorologist because I would not pass any of these classes, but I wanted to work on a storm chasing team when I graduated as a videographer. I think would be cool.
I mean, I guess you could technically.
Hannah wants to
still do that.
reenact the movie Twister, but in real life.
No, she wants to
I-
reenact
She
Sharknado.
said she's gonna write the movie Twister. That's the
Oh,
other
she-
route she has gone
She
here.
I
is
was like-
Twister. Dun, dun,
Twister
dun.
2 sequel, but the
Twister
where
2
I'm going with
sequel,
this is
more
that
Twisters.
because of this enjoyment fascination with the weather, I took intro to meteorology at UNI.
How was that?
Oh, it was a bad time. I think I got a C. It was really
Oh.
hard.
No
I'm
snowball
sorry.
He
melting.
was my professor. I'm
Wait, should
sorry.
we put F's in the chat? F's in the chat for
tried.
Hannah's meteorology
I
class?
tried. I was so sad because
You
like,
got it.
I loved the content so much, but it was like we focused on a lot of like the physics aspect of it as opposed to the meteorological aspect of it. So I was like literally I was
You
hyped.
got it
Like,
though.
oh my gosh, we're gonna like do stuff with like tornadoes and stuff. I love that, one of my favorite subjects. Like I just have all this like knowledge already. No, we didn't. We had one lecture of the whole semester on tornadoes, and it was just surface level knowledge. I was like, I really took this class for this.
I mean, the majority of what
okay.
we did was like, if there's a
Shapes
high
and
pressure zone
colors.
and a low pressure zone, there's going to be wind in between. Like,
I was gonna be like, there's gonna be like a
We did
baby
that
like
too,
this.
but we had to like calculate wind
Fun.
speeds and do all this stuff.
oh,
I
yours
just-
yours is a lot. Yours was a lot more than mine was. A lot
'cause
more
I think part of the
calculations.
problem is too is that like I love you and I, but because a lot of my class sizes are smaller, which is usually great because like I've gotten to know a lot of my professors really well and whatnot. Problem is that like they can do harder intro classes because it's not a lecture with 500 people in it. Like there were like maybe 20 other people in my class. That was the other downside, is that the professor knew that I was bad at his class. He just knew. He knew.
Well,
He was
I have
fly under
something.
the,
I have something to
radar.
bring you up from that,
Fine.
Hannah. I have something to bring you up from that, Hannah. You know what that is? I have a hypothetical question for all of you, and it's a great
Okay.
question. If you guys had we can do like a walkout or like a walk-up song, you know, because like baseball is just easy to do walk-up. What would be your walk-up / walk-out song?
I'd have to go with let me look up the name of it. I can't think of the I can think of the name, but I can't think of the artist. No, I do know it. I would do. Have you guys ever heard "Legend" by The Score?
Yes.
That's the song I would do as my walk up. I walk off. I don't know if they do music for that. I don't know what I would.
No. I said like
Like,
walk up or like it's the same thing. Walk up or like walk out, which is like WWE entrance music. That's like the it's the same concept.
Yeah, I do "Legend" by The Score. I think.
That's a good.
I'll
That's a
probably
good.
think of something later and send it to
No,
you.
I know. That's the one's like na 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 na. That one, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm probably just gonna think of another song later and be like, why didn't I say that on the live? So
No, that's a good one.
It's a good all those type of songs remind me of like football games. Like they're like the songs they play while you're like waiting.
But that's a good song, though. That's a good song. That's
Yeah.
a good choice.
Well, it's
All
the
right.
right vibe, right energy.
Craig.
So
Craig, you're
I'm on
next.
the fence on this one because there's the song that I would actually like to be my song, but then there's an
Just do it.
I
Just do
have two.
both.
I have two. So one of them is "Runaway Baby." Fantastic
God.
Bruno Mars song. Everyone should know it by heart.
I
It
played
is
that in
ama-
high school.
We
band.
played it at Rutgers. It was the New Jersey anthem, according to an incorrect voiceover at a football game. The other song is based on an experience I had at a Somerset Patriots game.
Ooh.
And
do
the
it?
song is "Drinking Beer and Wasting Bullets" by Luke Bryan.
Oh God.
So it's like the most stereotypical country song. I'm not gonna sing it because YouTube will flag this and copyright strike the channel
For your
before we're
singing?
even monetized. Yes, that is a thing that happens on YouTube. Yes. So we also can't play it for that same reason, but go look it up, y'all listening. It is the
so
most
banging.
stereotypical country song, but my friends and I were just like chilling at a Patriots game that we got into for free that day. So like we were like, everything from here is just a positive, like net investments. It's all positive. And we're just like hanging out and I don't know, looking at our phone or something. And a batter walks up and we hear just like the most like you can just picture like a dirt road and like some guy just like sitting in like a little
Iowa.
sitting in the woods like just trying to do some hunting, but just it's a funny song. It's not supposed to be, but it's a funny song. I recommend
all
it.
these country songs. Sometimes it's weird to me that like people like no offense, great. It's weird to me that I'm like, oh, these people on like the East Coast and other places listen to country music too, and I'm like, what do you guys picture when you listen to this? Like,
That there's like
Cowboys. I don't know.
rural areas that aren't in the
Of New
Midwest,
Jersey.
right?
This is true.
Like
no, I know that, but like I feel like
we are the Garden State.
rural Jersey.
Somewhere there's a garden.
Rural Jersey is a different.
Where's
vibe
my
than,
garden?
like, Iowa or Kansas.
Yeah, but
or
like
Oklahoma.
it's like
I feel like I
it's a
picture
similar
the
vibe to
South when I
Appalachia.
think of
Yeah, when I think of
music.
country,
Like,
I think of the
don't-
South, not the
I
Midwest.
don't think of the like West listening to country music. I don't know what
I feel
they
like I
listen
think of
to.
like the Midwest and the South.
I do not think of the West when it comes to listening to country
Well,
music.
No,
I
I,
agree with
Midwest.
I
Rebecca.
exclusively
Midwest.
think of the South, like
Yeah, yeah.
Texas, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I would say that I think of the Midwest more as classic rock than country.
Because there's Midwest emo,
No.
like that's like its own genre.
No, I mean
No.
Wait,
from
what?
most of the Midwesterners that I've interacted with
Emo?
have said that
I'm
they
pretty sure
listen
that's
to
what
a
it's
lot
called,
of classic
right?
rock.
I think there's like
I've
a,
never heard that.
and
That's
did I
so
say it
weird.
wrong though? I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's a Midwest specific brand of like pop punk.
Is there really?
I
don't
mean-
know.
I don't know. Maybe
I mean,
should
Brendan
Google.
Urie's from Utah, but that's not really the Midwest. That's like the
No,
Rockies. isn't it?
Big old boys.
Yeah, Midwest emo is a genre of, it's a subgenre of music.
That's great.
I'm looking it up.
Here, wait, Rebecca. Which one would yours be?
Oh, well, okay. I would say
Would
either
it be
I'll go with
Midwestern emo?
it would, yeah, some Midwestern emo song. Just any of them probably would be fine.
All
Yeah.
of them.
I don't know, maybe like there's a song in Trolls 2, I think, or maybe Trolls 1. in the movie Trolls, which I have not seen, there's a song called Hair Up that has In the Hall of the Mountain King in it, and then they like sing on top of it. And so maybe that it goes hard for no reason. Like
Yeah, you know what? I'd
like
like to amend mine. I would like my walk-up song to be Westward Yo, as performed by the UNI Panther Marching Band.
oh, I see,
Okay.
yeah.
That would be
every single time.
I mean, that'd be an interesting one.
I think the first time we do the push down the field this year, after not doing it for a year, like post-pandemic, happy and vaccinated.
Oh yeah, that first alma mater is gonna hit different for people.
Oh my gosh, everyone's gonna cry.
Yes.
Not gonna be
Yeah.
a dry eye in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be at the end. So at the end of band camp every year, we do like the senior circle, where like the band forms a big circle, and then the seniors form a little circle inside the circle. Like,
Yeah,
different
we did
arms.
that too.
We sing the alma mater. It's like the last thing we do, and I'm like thinking about that. I'm like, I'm going to be a sobbing mess the
Oh,
entire
yeah.
time.
Oh yeah, we do that at the senior game, like at the last game of the year, and like everyone's a mess anyway. But you know this is
We
gonna
do it
be.
there too. Like we do it
Mhm.
twice. It's like it just. Guys, I think I'm going to spend all of my super senior season. I'm just going to be sobbing all the time for different reasons. Like it's going to
Honestly,
be great. I
sounds
can't
like a
wait.
plan.
Sounds
Hey, wait,
thrilled. Cannot wait.
hey, wait,
Only
Rebecca,
48 days
Yeah.
band camp.
was your answer like the actual answer, or like did you have another song?
You know what? I'll take that one as my actual one. I was
Okay,
gonna say
I
also
like it.
like The Show Goes On, because
Okay.
you know the song The Show Goes On. I can't remember who it's by.
I'll
Because
just take your word
there's
for it.
yeah that song, because one, they played at the UConn football games, but also because the UConn band played it in like 2011, and it goes so hard. The UConn band 2011 version of The Show Goes On, but
I'll
the
take your
actual
word
song
for
is
it.
good too.
I have a couple, because like I'm stuck between doing like a hip hop song or doing like alt music, which is a lot of stuff that I like. So like I had a couple like Tame Impala or like John Mayer songs in my head, and then there was
Not
You-
so hype though.
well I
Yeah,
understand
I
that,
think that's
but,
pretty
like,
tame.
Craig, can you just like move yourself out of the picture?
I
Like,
was
you were talking
already
about-
doing it.
Okay, good job. So I had one. I think that this one would be really good because, so there's none of this will make sense to you guys, but it's fine. We're just gonna go with it. There is a pitcher on the Los Angeles Dodgers. His name is Kenley Jansen. He's the closer. So basically, he comes in to save games, and he walks out to "California Love" by Tupac. And it's like perfect because it's in California because they play in LA. And honestly, it hits different when he comes out, and I love it. And that would be really, really cool. Or like, I mean, an iconic one is Enter Sandman, which was Mariano Rivera's walkout music when he came out. And like,
He used to be a Yankee.
Yeah.
he did. And that was iconic. That's an iconic
Or-
thing. That would be really
Or
cool.
you know what other route you could go?
What?
You could use From Now On, like Logan Paul.
I didn't watch that.
Watch the fight. You
No, I
didn't
didn't. No,
Try
no,
to
I
not
no, I
watch
didn't. I
anything
was
with the Paul
watching
brothers
U.S.
involved.
I was
I
watching
pretend
U.S.
they're
and Mexico
taking
playing
this.
soccer.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yo, you
so
guys should have watched it.
It was
People
a
were throwing
terrible
bottles
boxing
at each
match,
other.
but it was never gonna be. Like, nobody expected it to be a good one.
It
But-
wasn't going to be a good
but
one because
for-
Floyd
for-
Mayweather just like scammed a bunch of people of millions
Yeah,
of dollars.
I mean, yeah, because he's a smart businessman.
He
He's
is a
thinking-
smart
He's
businessman. He
thinking
knows
with the few
exactly.
brain cells that he still has left.
That's rough.
His career was getting punched in the head.
I mean, that is
His
true.
career
I
was
mean,
literally getting punched in the head. But like, so most boxers, for those of you that are listening that don't know, most of
Have
the
walkout songs.
they're like hip hop. You know, a lot of the guys, especially at this fight, came out with like a rapper next to them, like rapping as they were walking out. Logan Paul, though, he pulls out From Now On from The Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman.
And
I don't think Hugh Jackman would let him do that. I like to think that Hugh Jackman, had he known, would have been like, absolutely not.
I think my favorite part about it. My favorite part about it was at one point, like, Logan Paul like puts his arms up in the air and he's like kind of, doing some arm movements. The bodyguard to his left does not expect that and catches an elbow just like right to the face. And
No.
and like
That is-
it wasn't like, like a hard hit or anything, but like it was enough to like kind of knock him a little bit. And then he was walking a few feet behind.
Yeah, see, I'm not. I just
Questioning his
hadn't
career
promoted
choice.
There was
then.
another song
Yeah.
that just came to my head. It's called Dang. It's by I think it's by Mac Miller featuring Anderson .Paak. I love Mac Miller. Like honestly, I would play like any Mac Miller song as my walkout as my walk-up music. I was thinking like a Coldplay song, but then I was like, Coldplay is literally the least hype band of all. Like, imagine if I walked up to Yellow.
Like up to a ballad.
Look at the stars, like that would be terrible.
Sky Full of Stars is your walkout music.
Oh my
No.
god, I hate that song.
Just
That
to catch
entire
everyone off
album is
guard.
terrible. Just delete the album off
No,
the face of the
the-
earth.
Okay, I've decided that I would also be okay with Thunderstruck being my walk-up.
That
Yeah,
would be
that would be
a
a
good
good one.
one.
Living
Yes.
on a
That
Prayer
would
would
be
be a
good.
good one.
There's a guy, Mark Melanson, I think he's on the Padres. I think that's his walkout music is Thunderstruck.
That
Do
would
you
be
think
fun. to have
people
walk-
like ever just get tired of like it being serious and just put like some SpongeBob song as their
Yeah.
walkout?
There's a
walk
great
out
one.
to, Gitchy Gitchy Goo from Phineas and Ferb.
Yes. Oh, can I
One
walk out
guy
to
on
get you
the
ahead in the
Rays-
game from high school?
One guy
Musical?
on the
Like, I
Rays
think
has
that's
1,000 miles
perfect.
by Vanessa Carlton as his walk-up music.
Um,
He's fantastic. We do love our Griff. Also,
Okay.
one guy had a siren, like a literal, like it was a literal, just like a siren
that's what I
as his walkout music. That was it.
Since obviously you guys know Iowa State, their mascot is the Cyclones. Literally at their games, they do like a cyclone warning or whatever, and they play like a tornado siren sound.
Yeah,
Which
that
is
was his
really-
walk-up
There have
music.
been multiple instances where the actual sirens are going off, and they're like, "Clear the stadium," and everyone thinks that it's like just the game sirens. And they're like, "No, get out of here!" So that's my one thing.
That is
go.
chaotic.
It also like hearing this, it like also like for like a split second, it initiates like my fight or flight instincts. I'm like, what tornado?
At some
But-
point, we should do like the ultimate ranking of inanimate object
Mascots.
We need to.
Oh my god, can we do the Hurricanes versus the Golden Hurricanes?
Yeah, and like the Cyclones and the Orange from Syracuse and the Buckeyes from
Hey,
Ohio
Otto the
State.
Orange is a
Little
legend.
nut.
He can move his entire body around.
I will say, this is unrelated, but while we were all discussing that, I did some math. You know how we were talking about like band sizes or whatever as a
Mhm.
percentage of the student body? If we assume that the PMB has 300 people in it and the student body is about 9,000, we make up 3.333% of the student body.
Wow.
That's huge. Yeah, that's huge.
I love that. And that it's funny because the PMB, everybody like like the culture is really great. So everyone's like, when you're in band, you just know like everybody's in band. So like the PMB literally has connections everywhere on campus.
Yeah,
no
like
matter
we
where
felt
you're
like that
trying
with
to go,
1%. I'm
trying
sure
to
with
get
that
to.
many, you really feel it.
It's so much fun. I actually love it because like you're just while you're on campus, you see random band members, and like the President Nook like knows a bunch of us because he likes the band. Just once again, super fun.
That's
So,
great.
He's
no
elite.
cats.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All
don't
right.
get-
Go back to, should we talk about the Wisco band?
Oh yeah, yeah. We didn't. We like
Sorry, what's going on?
mentioned it.
No,
And then-
no, we talked about it. No, we were all excited about it. That was our general consensus.
Long
Was
road
that
to get-
Exciting.
I mean,
Good for
yeah,
them.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot about that to like unpack. But if y'all want to go, they've got a great article kind of talking about Dr. Shivert over on the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh website. A whole article kind of going into his backstory and whatnot. It's a good read if you're curious about it. And you know,
but that's awesome. I mean
Yeah.
Best of luck.
by 2022
Exciting
to
see
get a
like
100-person band.
their
wanna-
uniforms, all that kind of stuff's all gonna be brand new.
I want.
I feel like 100 people
on
is
an episode
for-
of the podcast. That'd be a
That
fun
would
one.
be really
Ooh,
cool.
that would be
I-
super cool.
I feel
about,
like 100's a
making the
lot
band.
for a D3 band. Is that crazy insane? I
For-
feel like 100's a
For a
lot.
school that has 15,000 undergrad, I don't think 100 is a hard mark to hit, regardless of whether it's D1 or D3.
Okay. Yeah,
They've
that
got
makes
100,
sense.
or
That makes sense.
like it's they 100.
They should.
is
I mean,
manageable.
if they have a big enough music program, then they should be able.
I
to
couldn't
hit that.
say if they
I
have a
think
big
they're
music program or
creating
not.
it. It
Yeah,
seems like, yeah.
But
it's good,
Oh,
like-
okay.
Even if your school doesn't have a huge like school of music, it's
People
still
just
fun.
love band.
yeah. I mean, like
Yeah.
Purdue doesn't have a school of music. They
Yeah, they
barely
have,
have a
like,
music
a
program yet. They've got a
300 person-
giant marching band.
300-400
Right. Yeah,
person
you don't
band.
need it to have a school of music necessarily.
I think it even makes it more special because we, like, in the PNB, one of our things is we have like somebody from every major and like discipline or whatever at UNI are like 98 or 99% of them. And I think that really like is what makes it special, because even if you're not a music major, is that like it's just like a time to relax and like focus on something different than like whatever you have to do in your major. Like that's almost the appeal of like, because if you're a music major, you're like, oh, I'm like honing my craft or whatever, which is great, and like marching band's like a great way for them to like get reps in and whatever they need to do. But like for those of us who aren't majors, it's just like a great way to like have something you get to do like that you love doing and keep doing it, and it also like helps you make friends and stuff. So I'm
Definitely.
hoping, especially on their campus, like it sounds like they have a pretty big undergraduate student body, larger
There's
than
probably interest. Like I assume that there's
We're
interest.
excited.
Yeah.
And we definitely got to shout him out on social media if we haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I mean, this
We
was
haven't
just
yet. They don't
announced
exist yet.
yesterday, so
Okay, well then, yeah. Then
they
shout
are
out.
brand spanking new.
Yeah. They've
So-
existed
Fresh
for
out
like
the
a
pot.
day.
so
yeah,
but
it's
yeah.
cool though. Like they're gonna have to write a fight song for them.
Mhm.
All this stuff.
We shouldn't write it above the staff though for the trumpets. They shouldn't do
Most
that.
and like
For
most
those of you who saw my
directors,
tweet, don't do that to your bands.
like most directors, you know, they get like a job as an assistant director for a couple years, then they get hired for a position as a director for a few years, go somewhere else, maybe have a bit longer of a career there, and it kind of seems like either they have, you know, a really long career at one school, like Mike LaCrone over at what's it called, Wisconsin Madison, the main one, or
UW. Main UW.
That's Wisco,
over
yeah.
at USC. You know, most people, that's the dream for most band directors, you know, having a long career
To
at
like
one place.
settle down and be the person.
But very rarely do you actually get to be the guy that starts it.
It's
like-
cool. It means like a lot. He's gonna basically get to decide how anything goes, and those first
Mhm.
people are gonna be like the first people who join that band are gonna be very instrumental in like
That
forming the
Haha.
culture and the traditions, and also just in general like what their
it's
what
just
the band
cool to
is
say
like.
that you were part
Yeah.
of like the first
the
thing.
building
Of
of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Definitely, we're excited for them. So that's
Yeah.
very.
yeah,
When I was like
to
a
say that
sophomore
you're
or
in.
something.
Oh wait, sorry.
So no, you can finish what you're saying.
No, I was gonna say it's just cool to say like you were part of like the first year of doing something. Or you were at like the first, like whenever I
Mhm.
think of something and I'm like, oh yeah, like this is like, you know, like I'm at like especially for sport, like if I go to someone's like debut or if I'm at like the first game or something like that. You know, like that's cool to say because then you can like talk about it with people and say like I was at this first thing. That's the same thing with all of the
Yeah.
people that are going to be in that
Yeah,
band.
really
Like
cool.
they're at the first game of the marching band. They're the first people performing
Right,
the fight
everything
song.
they
like,
do is gonna be the first
Yeah,
show,
that's
first
so
everything.
cool.
I
Yeah,
just
really
feel
cool.
a little bad for the people that are going into their senior year that are watching this thing kind of form around them, but knowing that they won't get a chance to be a part of it.
Yeah, like helping to like build or recruit, but not being able to actually be in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, what I was gonna say, like very quickly, I'll say, when I was like a sophomore or something, the University of New Haven started their marching band, or at least like restarted it because they didn't have one, and they had the Yukon band play their fight song so that they could learn it, so that they had it.
That's cool. That
They
is
were
cool.
brand new; they didn't have anything yet, but they got really big really fast too, and that's a small school.
Yeah.
So.
So
Shout out to New Haven.
yeah, so I guess, you know, on that note, we'll say good
Wrap
luck
things
to Dr. Shiver and University of Wisconsin Oshkosh. And yeah, I guess it's time to wrap it up. So, Hannah, where can these people find us? Here, I'll
You
even
can
put
find
Alex
us
in the
on
right spot for you.
Twitter at College Band Radio. You can find us at College Band RDO. Oh my goodness, I lied. It's been so long since I've done that. You can find us on Instagram at College Band Radio, and you can find us on TikTok at College Band Radio.
And if you forget, it's directly above Alex's head.
Yeah,
I
we
put,
did it.
I put him in the right
Woohoo!
spot so he could finally.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Ever since we got those up on the top of no, wrong corner.
No, it's up here.
Yeah, that way.
I don't even care where it is. I just like pointing.
Okay, so on that note, I think it's time that we all say goodbye. Have a nice